If you're trying to lose weight, eat healthier, or stick to your meal prep, then I'm about to make your life a whole lot easier. I'm Amy, a nutrition coach who has lost and kept off 40 pounds of fat. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can batch prep lean protein in just about 10 minutes of hands-on time so that you have it ready for your entire week. You can either use it to meal prep your meals for the week, or you can follow what I do, and I like to change it up, use the same base protein, and change up the other ingredients so that I never get bored of what I'm eating. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how you can batch prep some chicken for your meals. Now, I like to use my Instant Pot, but you can also use a crock pot. You can also bake it in the oven, though, to be honest, it kind of gets dry. I prefer like a boiling method or somewhere where it's more immersed in liquid so that it stays really moist. I like to use chicken breast. You can use chicken tenders, chicken thighs, though chicken thighs do have quite a bit more fat, so it does drive up the calories. So if weight loss is your goal, you wanna opt for the chicken breast or chicken tenders. So let's go ahead and get this in the Instant Pot. We've already got our water in the bottom. You wanna do about a cup of water, and I'm just putting the last of the chicken breast in. Actually, I'm gonna turn that around so I can season the other side. And we are just seasoning it with some simple things so that we can keep it neutral for our recipes. So I'm just doing garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And you can either use chicken broth or water at the bottom. You just wanna make sure that if you are doing this in the Instant Pot that you do have liquid down there to keep from burning. And you can do it directly in the liquid. I use the little trivet here to keep it up just so it's easier to take out the chicken. But we're gonna go ahead and just get this seasoned and in the Instant Pot. So you wanna make sure that your Instant Pot is sealed. We're gonna go ahead and click manual. And if you have smaller pieces of chicken, you can do about 16 minutes. Mine are pretty thick, so I am going to do 18 to ensure they're cooked all the way through, and then just let it do its thing. So prepping that chicken literally took us, I don't know, less than 5 minutes. It was super simple. With, boiling, you could season the water a little bit. You can do it in chicken broth for some more flavor. And crock pot is the same, and I'll leave all these directions in the description below. And if you want more healthy recipes for meal prep, snacks, desserts, I do it all, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on anything. Our chicken is ready. It just did a slow release. So for this recipe, you can either shred it up or you can chop it into cubes. Either works well for meal prep. If you're just meal prepping this, you can obviously keep the chicken breast whole as well. Now, I have a few different tools that I use for shredding. First is going to be our easiest method is one of these shredders where you literally just put the chicken in and move it back and forth, and it shreds pretty quickly with pretty low effort. You can also use claws, so taking them out and shredding them with claws. This is also a great method, pretty quick. And if you don't have any of those, little more tedious, but still works, you can shred with 2 forks. And trust me, this chicken comes out so incredibly well cooked and tender for the Instant Pot. I make this all the time, and once my husband had it from the Instant Pot, he constantly requests that I always cook the chicken in the Instant Pot because it always comes out perfectly every time. And because it is in fact easiest and most efficient, I am going to use this device to shred my chicken today. And I will leave a link to this. Oh my gosh, I gotta show you this juice. I'll show you a close-up in a second. I will leave a link to this in the description, so if you wanna grab one, or the claws, it'll be real easy for you to find. Okay, just look at how juicy this is. Look at those juices. Seriously, it's so nice and tender, perfectly cooked. All right, so I'm gonna show you how easy this is. So we're just gonna put the lid on, and doesn't matter if the chicken is hot or not, and you just turn it. It should stick to your counter, and shred it up. Sometimes you gotta move the pieces around a little bit, but you can see overall, that's pretty well shredded. So now we are back with another recipe with our prepped chicken. If you didn't see the first one, make sure you watch that one because that recipe is insanely delicious. So we're gonna be making this 5-ingredient lunch that is insanely easy to throw together. It's absolutely delicious, and there's also a few additional ingredients that you could use to up the taste to your preferences, but either way, it's gonna be delicious. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is just start out with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter powder, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of water just to kind of make the dressing a little bit more dressing-y and not as thick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter powder. This is just peanuts. There's no sugar added, and I make a ton of recipes with this. If you didn't see my protein staples videos, you should watch that because you'll see how much I love this. Now we're gonna do a tablespoon of soy sauce. You can add a little bit more if you want, but I find that it gets too salty if you add more. So about a tablespoon we're gonna start of water just to make it more of a dressing. And then we're also gonna use lime. The lime can be optional, but it adds a great flavor to it. You can also add sriracha to this if that's something that you enjoy. That does make it more than 5 ingredients, but you know. Anyway, so does the lime actually. The lime is optional. We're just gonna go ahead and mix up this dressing. And one of the great things about this meal prep is you can literally just make it in 1 container. You do want it to be kind of runny so that it covers the dressing a little bit more easily. And if you want, you can do a 3rd tablespoon of the PB powder if you like a lot of dressing. This kind of gives it like a thin layer based on these macros, but you know, again, adjust to your taste as always. So we've got our dressing ready here, and you can see it's pretty thin, perfect for getting everywhere. So now we're just gonna do about 3/4 of a cup of cooked chicken. You can use a rotisserie chicken. You can use the chicken that I showed you how to prep. You can see I have this giant thing handy so that I have meals all week. And if I don't use all this, this gets freezed. And it's really easy to just pull out of the freezer and use however I want to use. So I have a 1/2 cup here, a heaping 1/2 cup, and I'm just gonna go ahead and dump it in my container. And then we're gonna do 2 cups of just coleslaw mix. You can totally prep these ingredients separately if that works better for you. And this dressing I think is good with about 2 cups. You can totally add 3 cups if you want even more volume for just a few extra calories. But if you are doing that, I would make a little bit more dressing because it's not quite enough. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, don't forget to do so because I have a lot more delicious, easy recipes coming up for you in the next upcoming weeks and months and forever probably. Well, you know, not forever, but anyway. So we've got our 2nd cup here of coleslaw. And then because this salad is currently missing some healthy fats, we are gonna put about a tablespoon or so of peanuts in. If you don't wanna do peanuts, you could also do avocado is a great healthy fat as well, but it adds a little bit of crunch and it also adds some healthy fat. We're just gonna pop our lid on to our Tupperware container and just shake it up. And obviously you could do this in advance. You could do this, just pop them in the fridge as is and take out as needed. But it just makes it so easy, less cleanup, super simple. Going, get this shaked. Don't mind my messy kitchen. I'm gonna clean it up after this is done because what's the point to do it early? And we have our salad here all ready to eat. I also forgot to mention that this is a perfect one for meal prep because cabbage and carrots are something that stays like nice and crunchy in the fridge long term. So it's really easy for you to prep in advance and then eat as you please. Now that was just incredibly easy, wasn't it? So I usually like to top this with some green onion, some sriracha, some sesame seeds, some edamame. Dried edamame would be really good for some extra crunch. You could add more peanuts, again, avocado for healthy fat. There's a few different ways that you could kind of dress this up if you want a little bit more flavor, though it's really flavorful on its own. But I wanted to keep it simple. These are just a few alternatives that you could add to meet your own taste. This is a great meal prep lunch. Stay tuned because I have a bunch more 5-ingredient recipes coming up and I think you're going to love them. So thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button and make sure that you turn on notifications for my channel so you don't miss any upcoming recipes. Thanks again and see you next time.